right. Hello, everybody. What's going on? Welcome to our first look special revealing Aavegotchi's latest product, Gotchi Lending. I'm Gravy, Pixelcraft Studios head of marketing, and today I'll be joined by Aavegotchi co-founder Jesse Johnson, aka Golden Cross. Over the next 20 to 30 minutes, we'll be exploring how Gotchi Lending delivers brand new utility to your ghostly NFTs, as well as what these new NFT sharing abilities mean for participation in the Gotchiverse. Quick hint, it's a major breakthrough for accessibility to the upcoming DeFi RPG. We'll be getting a full tour of the user interface for Gotchi Lending, so you can see exactly how on-chain lending will work when this goes live Monday, March 28th. Make sure to stay till the end because we'll also have a very special giveaway happening live on this live stream. A super rare run of only 25 Aavegotchi beanies were produced, for our recent participation in Ethereum Denver. Golden Cross has set aside the final 5 beanies, and he has them in his possession, which we will be giving away at the end of this live stream. So let's get right into it and welcome Mr. Golden Cross to share a bit more about today's special giveaway. And of course, all about the latest with the Gotchiverse and Gotchi Lending. Golden Cross, welcome. Golden Cross, can you unmute your mic real quick? There we go.
You saw me playing with the snow caps. With the
I did. You got super excited.
Yeah, I'm like freaking out over here. So we've got indeed both a lot to talk about with Gotchi Lending, and we also have a lot to talk about with things you get to keep. So we've got 5 left, and really excited to share those with you guys today.
All right, GotchiGang. If you want to see one of these beanies delivered to you, the rules are simple. Leave a comment in the comment section with the hashtag Aavegotchi. During the closing minutes of this live stream, we will be randomly selecting 5 lucky winners. If you are one of those winners, make sure to DM me on Twitter at 0xgravy before the weekend hits, and I'll get you set up with this sweet, sweet swag. So make sure you're commenting. Let's get some thoughtful questions asked. Put the hashtag Aavegotchi in there, and we will pick 5 lucky winners at the end. We'd also love feedback, questions, or reactions regarding what we're about to share with Gotchi Lending. Golden Cross, can we start out with a quick recap of where things are in the Gotchiverse? The alpha version is going live at the end of the month, and I know everybody wants a little bit of a better understanding of what Gotchi Lending is and how it will amplify the game's launch.
Yeah, absolutely. So Gotchi Lending is going live just before it too. So that's important to understand. And then we'll have the Gotchiverse live on March 31st. And really, there's a couple things here. The Gotchiverse Alpha is kind of our MVG. It's like our minimum viable game. So this is the first iteration. And the release aims to allow everyone to immediately start farming their Alchemica tokens, experience Gotchi Lending, and provide valuable feedback on this earliest iteration of the Gotchiverse. In fact, if you want, we can just take a quick look here at some recent gameplay footage from in-house on some features we're working on. Namely, you'll see the world, and then we'd also like to reveal a bit of the crafting table. So I think if you want, we can pull that up real quick and have a look. Okay, this is us entering.
All right. Well, all this looks very good, very, very cutting edge. But, what if you don't have an Aavegotchi?
That's right. So yeah, you'd be crafting without an Aavegotchi. It's just not possible, right? So let's talk about how you can play this, whether or not you have an Aavegotchi. And that's where Gotchi Lending comes in. So Gotchi Lending is kind of our answer to what we've seen in the space already. If it's the scholarship program you may see in other types of DeFi games or NFT games, And those are okay, but they have a kind of bureaucratic layer where you're literally like applying for a job. You need somebody to do a background check on you, approve you, make sure you're in the guild, make sure you're in good standing, all those things. What we think is much more scalable and much more powerful is to take advantage of blockchain and smart contracts and basically create a sharing economy type of app or platform that is completely trustless. And by trustless, we mean you don't need to know who the other person on the other end is, as long as you know the smart contract is enforcing the terms that you as the owner of the Aavegotchi set. So literally imagine like an Uber app or Airbnb, except instead of those types of real life experiences, you are borrowing a Aavegotchi for a certain amount of time with certain kind of sharing profit type of play to earn type of parameters. So the way I think about it is this is really groundbreaking because with NFTs, you know, everybody talks about digital scarcity, and it's the primary premise of NFTs that, you know, it's you can prove you own it. But to me, that's just the beginning. Ownership isn't just about proving something's yours. It should also be about, you know, how you can share your most valuable and most treasured assets with your friends, family, or perhaps a gaming guild you're a part of. So for the first time, Gotchi Lending smart contracts deliver that utility and the ability to trustlessly share your NFTs with others in that community that you care about. So you can share them globally to anybody, or you can actually create whitelists through this app and share them with specific lists of people that you want to, that are part of perhaps your guild, your friend circle, etc. The other big part here to consider is with Gotchi Lending, you are actually giving more accessibility to the gameplay. So, you know, instead of being a PFP project that maybe only has 10,000 NFTs, here with Aavegotchi, you are going to be able to let anybody anywhere play in the Gotchiverse at any time by simply going to the Gotchi Lending app and choosing to borrow somebody else's Aavegotchi. And the reason they'd want to lend it to you is the third point, which is passive income. The Aavegotchi owners will be sharing more than their NFT. As you play the game, you play to earn these Alchemica tokens, and you're actually able to, hardwired into the code, you will share those earnings with the original owner. So it's like, imagine literally we have a pie chart in the app interface that shows clearly who is getting what at the end of the rental duration. So that's kind of the Gotchi Lending in a nutshell. And the next point here is to actually share what that would look like. And so I think if we want, we can pull up a little bit of the UI.
Yeah, and 1 second here again for anybody that's hasn't been here from the start. Again, we're giving away some beanies, so if you include a hashtag Aavegotchi in the comments section, that will enter you for a chance to win one of 5 beanies at the end of this live stream.
Yeah, you got to get the beanies. And what's the hashtag? Just simply hashtag Aavegotchi in the YouTube comments, right?
Yep, hashtag Aavegotchi in the YouTube comments. That's it.
Okay, great. So, all right, there's a couple ways that we could show this off. It could be from the owner of the Aavegotchi's perspective or from the borrower's perspective. I'm going to start with the borrower's perspective because if you're new and you don't have any Aavegotchis or maybe you don't have any NFTs, I think that would be the more interesting angle for you. So let's say you go to Aavegotchi.com and you log in, you'll need a MetaMask or Web3 wallet that's supported. We support many. And then you go in and you're going to see a new icon on the welcome page that says Gotchi Lending. And let's just pull that up. This is what it's going to look like. And we'll just go through it together.
And Gold Cross, it looks like you got muted again too. There we go.
Yes. So here you can see the Gotchis are missing because they're on chain, and this is still on test. But it's not even testnet, it's local. But we're going in to pick one Gotchi that is up and available for renting. And you can see that this one allows the borrower to have 90% of the pie. And so it's non-chain transaction. The owner is going to take 10%, and the duration is 240 hours. So this Gotchi is yours for the next 240 hours. It goes into your My Aavegotchi's dashboard, and you'll notice there's this little Gotchi Lending icon there right next to it. And that's just indicating if you had other Aavegotchis you already own, that, you know, this is one of many, but it's a lent one. And there's your terms. You can always view the terms, and you can always claim rewards. You don't have to wait for the 240 hours to complete. You can claim those rewards anytime you want, as often as you like. And that's pretty much how that part works. So as you can see, it fits into the Aavegotchi.com experience we already have. If you've been in our NFT marketplace, if you've been on our DApp, this is all very familiar, and the learning curve will be pretty much, I mean, minimal. It's super easy, right? I don't know. Gravy, do you think you could handle that?
Yeah, I mean, I was waiting to see what the team had put together as well, and it looks like on day one we'll be able to start lending gotchis out without any troubles. I mean, it's something that we are always, everybody that's already familiar with the bazaar will have an easy transition to, so it looks great.
Yep. And yeah, like this says, Gotchi Lending is live a few days before the Gotchiverse goes live. So if you want to take your time and get familiar with the UI, you've got that opportunity, you've got that time. So there's absolutely no issue with that. And I guess what we could do next is I'd love to show off, if you own an Aavegotchi and you're interested in participating in the lending program, then what would it look like from your side? So this first clip I'm going to share is the how you create a lending, a new lending. So let's put that up.
And you got muted again, Golden Cross, if you want to hit the microphone.
I guess, yeah, every time we share. So here you can see, like, we're doing a 40, 50, 10 split. That 10 goes to a guild or whatever third-party address you would like to support. So it gives you more functionality as a guild member if you want to support a treasury wallet, something like that. And you can see here, everything is set up. The rarity score, the XP is all there. And it's pretty much 3 simple steps. And again, all on chain. You're going to do a simple Polygon transaction. And next thing you know, that Gotchi is listed on the lending site and waiting for someone to come along and take it for, I believe it was 100 hours. So you could easily do that through that interface.
Yeah, this is pretty powerful. It's one of those things. I still have some friends that have heard me talk about these digital ghosts for the past 8 to 12 months. And they're still not quite on board, but this is giving me the ability to, you know, hey, why don't you take one of my gotchis out for a spin and see what you think of it, rather than, you know, having to go out and purchase an Aavegotchi to participate. So this is a pretty cool thing that we're implementing here. And I'm super excited to have that not only a couple days before the Gotchiverse launches, but we'll be able to do that day one.
Yeah, you'll be ready to go. And as soon as the Gotchiverse launches, there's a ton of Alchemica waiting for everyone to pick up. I believe it's something along the lines of 500,000 Alchemica tokens being released throughout the first 30 days. Don't quote me on that, but give or take. And so every day you're in the Gotchiverse is a day to play to earn, pick up some Alchemica. And like you just saw with that pie chart interface, whether you're borrowing an Aavegotchi or you're lending it out, you're going to be able to be a part of that very easily. Little friction, and in many cases, 0 cost. So I got another interface here I'll share. This is a little bit later. Let's say we're agreeing to the lending terms. So let me pull that up. Okay, here you can see that Maddie, the one we just listed, is now there. 100 hours, 0 ghost up front, 40-50 split with 10% to what I would assume is a guild treasury, and 3 out of the 4 Alchemica tokens supported. I just really like the alpha tokens, so I'm keeping them for myself. And then If you want to come through and you would like to borrow it, notice it makes it explicit. You can borrow it for free because literally there's no upfront cost.
So, are there specific parameters around this, or can one theoretically lease, or I guess lend this out for as long as I guess the game exists?
Yeah, I don't think it would be in an owner's interest to lend it too long, but it'll be really up to the open market to decide what's desirable. I totally anticipate some people will want to do a very minimum time duration, like let's say 1 hour, get in, get out, play, try a different gotchi with different traits, something like that. And then there's also the idea of, maybe a celebrity gotchi with a lot of powers, great traits, great wearables. That might require an upfront cost if you want to take that one for a test spin. That's the Lamborghini, right? So yeah, you'll definitely have the flexibility is there for both the owners and the borrowers to decide what they want. So I'll share one more bit here. We'll follow through on the flow to the claim and end. So we're going to claim the gotchi now. So there's Maddie. We're going to view the terms and the profit split. And we haven't played, so there's not much to claim at this point. They all say 0, but there is 9 ghosts there. So you would claim, and that split would automatically apply to that. And then it would just stream out to the 3 different wallets.
That's awesome. Very, very good way to put your gotchis to work.
And I think the last part here that a lot of people watching will be interested in is we're really focused on getting guild gaming done right and making something that guilds like YGG, Blackpool, all of them, Meta Guild, that they would benefit and want to use this. So we've had feedback from guilds, guild leaders, different scholarship managers on what would be ideal. And so that's why you see from the get-go here, there's an option for that third wallet. And even when you own a gotchi, you can choose to lend it globally. So like, hey, I don't care. I just want anybody out there is welcome to this gotchi. Or you say, no, it's only for my friend circle. And I have a list of those addresses that can in fact borrow this gotchi. So I've got one more interface to share with you guys. That is the lending whitelisting feature. It's right here. Let's have a look. So we're going to name this one. We're going to say this is my Gotchi Mug Guild. Shout out to Cherry and her guild. I believe that's the official mug guild going on right now. Put in the proper address. Maybe they have a treasury wallet. And we're still working. By the way, all of these interfaces are work in progress, but we're obviously very close. So this is what the first iteration will likely look like. You can add as many addresses as you want, though make sure you got that list right, because initially it'll be kind of finalized once you put it in. That said, we definitely want to add a editing feature shortly after launch, so you can continually update your same list and not have to make a new list every time. But there it is, voila. The transaction completes. You have one of what could be many different lists of people you are open to lending to.
Awesome. Yeah, that's going to be a huge factor for guilds, and especially when we get to like the 20,000 guild member, I guess, ranks with much like the Axie Infinity, to be able to whitelist some trusted individuals or trusted groups to be able to make this as seamless as possible.
Yeah, I think hopefully we get a lot of good questions and comments in the YouTube and across Twitter. Again, if you want one of those sweet, sweet beanies I was showing off earlier, make sure you do that Aavegotchi hashtag in the YouTube comments. And I believe it's all automated, right, Dan? Gravy?
Yeah, I've been collecting everybody's hashtags, and I will be using a random generator to pick the 5 of them. We'll do that live here. But first, let's grab some questions. I think, are we at the question section of this live stream where we can, if anybody's got some questions that haven't been answered already, please feel free to start posting some in there. I know there were some throughout this live stream, but we can't keep up with them with all the excitement and all the hashtags going on.
Yep, absolutely. And I think one thing is people just want to know, like, how the big concern was, how easy is this going to be? And we want to make it as easy as possible for people to be able to.
Actually, so there is a comment here. There should be some mechanism for recall, maybe with some defined penalty and yank back duration, e.g., it takes 24 hours, but renter gets 100% of whatever during that time. So, I mean, part of the feature of the Gotchi Lending is that it's automatically returned at the end of the contract. So, it's we don't have to worry about that middleman or losing a Gotchi or somebody running away with it.
Yep, there's literally no way they can. The way it's hardwired is you're getting permission to take that Gotchi and do a very limited number of things with it, like enter the Gotchiverse and play with it, and go to play to earn from there.
Yeah, and so I have another question that a lot of people are probably wondering from 1984. How is petting handled if you're lending past 24 hours?
So during that time, you can actually still have the owner pet. So great news for owners, you are not giving up your rights to pet. It's very similar to how there's some petting services out there that you're not giving up your Gotchi, but the right to pet is being handled by some other party. It's similar here where you retain that right. You can continue to pet it. So keep the kinship score high, and you don't have to be worried about lending it out for a longer period of time. We don't want you to be penalized for that.
Yeah. Another question coming in from a couple of people. What if you fat finger a 5-year rental period? What is the cancellation on that?
That's a great question. I guess you would, you can always end it, I'm pretty sure, early. So if both parties want to, but yeah, that is probably something that is already baked in, but I didn't write the code, and I'm going to go back and double check with the devs on that one. Great point. I'm sure they've thought of these edge cases. They've done all the user stories, all the edge cases, and can't imagine something like that happening. But of course, I'll be happy to raise that question.
All right, and then another question from NA. Can a lender add or remove wearables? Can the owner pet a Gotchi when it's lent, which we already answered, and we can ensure that it's taken care of. But can we add or remove wearables while it is being lent?
No. So when you are borrowing an Aavegotchi, you have very limited rights with what you're able to do with it. You're able to play to earn with it, basically. And so you're not going to be unequipping any wearables. In fact, when you borrow the Aavegotchi, it's going to tell you how many wearables are equipped. So if that matters to you, especially as the game evolves and matures, you're going to have kind of melee, combat, different traits, different weapon traits, all those kind of DeFi RPG elements you'd expect. And you will not be able to unequip those. So you want to borrow the Gotchi that gets the job done for whatever you're trying to do in the Gotchiverse. Here initially, right, you pretty much have all Gotchis are equal in the opening alpha version. So no concerns there. It's all fashion. But of course, over the coming weeks and months, it's going to be a consideration where you say, I'm willing to pay a little to borrow that Gotchi with the Portal Mage axe, right? Or I don't want to have the fancy wearables. I just want a basic Gotchi, and more than likely you'll be able to do that for free.
Awesome. So another question from 0x Ryusian. Can we use lending as outsourcing experience points for mini games?
Ooh, that is a little trickier, but stay tuned. We do have some thoughts on that and some ideas, but the initial use case is definitely for accessing the Gotchiverse, but that does not mean it cannot be extended.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Choina, can we track the loaned Gotchi's activity? Do we have a little Gotchi GPS on it? To rescind the borrower is if it's not doing anything with it.
So there is this question of if a borrower is non-performing, right? It's a bad borrower. Then we are looking into ways. It's got to be all done on chain, but we want to have a way where you kind of get not a credit score, but like, reviews almost. So that won't be there next week when it launches, but yeah, all of that is on the to-do list. It's all ways to prevent people from having a bad time. Like, I don't want to do a 5-day rental to somebody who doesn't play for 5 days. They borrow my Gotchi and they don't play for 5 days. That's not a good time for anybody.
Right.
So that also, the initial fix for that is make sure you're joining a guild that, has a bit of a screening process, and it's real players, and they're there to play and to win. So that's the initial one. Is if you're willing to rent or lend out globally, then that you lose that kind of curation, and you might want to consider doing shorter lending periods. Like personally, I'm looking forward to doing quick 1 hour ones and see how it goes, and then kind of build out my own whitelists from there. Like these are I prefer to call them friend lists. So make some friends.
Get a short debriefing from your Gotchi to see how that hour experience went.
Yeah. You can definitely see, log in live anytime to see where the earnings are, where the Alchemica stacks are. So all the Alchemica they're earning is going into their pocket. And if they're borrowing the Gotchi, they can't go to a vortex in the game and withdraw it to their own blockchain wallet, right? Well, they can, but the only way they're doing that is with it being split off, and you're going to see it heading straight to your wallet as well. So they can't run away with it. It's all in the parameters.
Yeah, this is going to be fantastic. Like, YGG mentioned on our Twitter Spaces a couple weeks ago how the single most painful part of the scholarship program is managing the people, and cutting out that middleman with our contracts is going to just make other projects want to get to this kind of level in lending on the blockchain. So we're revolutionizing the way things are being lent, and I think this is a phenomenal new step for all the projects in this space.
Yeah. So make sure you mark March 28th and March 31 on your calendars. On March 28th, the lending will be live on Polygon. You'll be able to hop in Aavegotchi.com and have a spin with it. Just get familiar with the UI. And then the play to earn aspect obviously kicks off on the 31st, just a few days later.
Awesome. All right. Well, why don't we get into the giveaway here? We got a few minutes to wrap this up. So I have 74 entries. To let you guys know, I know you've seen more than 74 hashtags, but the random generator I have is only collecting one per person. So I'm going to draw at the moment. The first winner is going to be winner is Han Hujian. Let me see if I can type that up. Han Hujian. I'm not great at pronunciations here, so I'm going to go. The first winner is being typed out right now.
All right, we'll put this in writing, make it official, and once they win, they should be contacting you directly, right?
Yeah, definitely DM me on Twitter, 0xgravy. Before the weekend hits, I can definitely get you the information needed to get this out. If you are worried about getting doxxed or not wanting to give up like your address, we've got ways around that that we can discuss in a DM. I'm going to draw another one again. This is kind of do this like slow Wheel of Fortune kind of slow down. So I almost got faked out on that first one. All right. The next winner is DeQuattro Becky. All right. I love that name. I'll type it in here again.
All right. Here we go. So happy for you guys. I love these hats. It's quickly become my favorite beanie.
DeQuattro Becky. Congratulations. All right. I'm going to spin again for the third.
Da-dun, 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 da-dun. Name that melody.
We got our goob.
All right. These are the last 5. These were made special order for Ethereum Denver. There were only 25 produced, so you guys are getting some of the best of the batch here. I only gave them out to people that were either super already partnered with us, or I met them at Ethereum Denver and they had a Aavegotchi in their wallet. So I was like, oh, if you're GotchiGang, you got one.
Well, we got 2 hats left, right?
Only 2 to go.
So the next winner is Mario Cardi.
What a great name.
I love this. I like Cardi B. What up? Mario Cardi.
I like that. Spelling makes it even better.
Yeah, how do you? Okay, I'm terrible at pronouncing. The first winner just asked if they won, and yes, you did. Congratulations. All right, the last final winner is Node Doan.
No Doan. Easier to pronounce.
Yeah, I mean, it looks a little bit different on paper, but easier to pronounce. So yeah, like we said, anybody that all 5 winners, if you DM me on Twitter 0xgravy, I will definitely give you some further directions on how to get your sweet swag. And like I said earlier, as long as if you don't want to be doxxed or give up your address, we have ways around that. Or if you want to give your hat to some other lucky person, feel free to let me know. But that was awesome. I'm super happy that we got to use this. We're wrapping up here. We just hit the 30-minute mark, and we had over 100 viewers. So I'm super glad to have 100 of you get 100 of GotchiGang live with us today. So if you have any questions, like always, feel free to jump into the Discord. We have a lot of big brains in there willing to answer questions. Follow us on Twitter. And most importantly, give us a subscribe on YouTube, as we are really trying to grow our YouTube presence. So all of our comments, likes, shares, follows will definitely help us get to that next level on YouTube and generate more awareness around our brand. So with that said, Golden Cross, you got anything else to say before we wrap it up here?
No, I hope everybody enjoyed the quick first look at Gotchi Lending, and we'll see you all in the Gotchiverse just a few weeks from now. So can't wait to lend you guys my Gotchis and borrow some of yours.
All right. Take it easy, GotchiGang. Thanks for coming.
Peace.